Hey again, everyone at the YouTube world. It's Chris here again with Hertastic Reviews. It's been about a week or two since my last video, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to treat my audience today. And how am I going to do that? We'll talk about Blu-rays, but specifically Blu-rays that I've picked up over this whole month of May. I know I've talked about a few of them in a few other videos this month, but this was just a hectic month for me with a lot going on. And you know what? I picked up some really sweet stuff during my travels and some of the places I went to visit. So I want to go ahead and talk about all the movies I picked up this past month. I'm really doing it to make everyone jealous, particularly Nathan Jones. This is also going to. This is just kind of like a few cool stuff that I've managed to pick up, and hopefully it motivates you all to go out and check some of these places out if you're near them for some cool Blu-rays. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. In the beginning of May, it was my roommate Seth's birthday, and his birthday's on May the 4th. Yeah, we're Star Wars fans, so of course we made a bunch of jokes that whole day. We also went to Family Video, and you know what? Family Video puts stickers on their discs that kind of look ugly, but I mean, for the price you're paying for it, it's worth it, and plus they're encased as well, so you don't always have to look at the disc. He gave me a huge solid on his own birthday. He gave me the chance to pick up this one 4K movie for like $4.99. That movie is Coco. Coco, I recently saw it. I missed it when it first came out, and I just hadn't seen it since, but I sat down a month ago and I watched this movie. I cried a little. This movie is awesome. I just really appreciate the story, its originality, the acting, and being Hispanic as well. I definitely connect with it in a certain level. But overall, this is just an amazing movie, and it's probably one of my favorite Pixar movies. And the fact that I got it on 4K now for $4.99, thank you, Family Video. Most importantly, thank you, Seth, for this sweet pickup. So this bad boy is definitely going to be sticking on the shelf here next to Cinderella. And there we have it. So the next couple Blu-rays I'm going to talk about were also the beginning of May. I went to go visit spontaneously my buddy Daniel in Colombia, who's also been on this channel. And of course, before heading off to see him, I had to stop at another Family Video that's in town and check out some of those Blu-rays. I got really lucky last time I was there. I got Overlord for $4.99 with the slipcover. So I was like, feeling the magic, like it was flowing through me. Honestly, that was probably just my addiction talking to me and telling me I just needed to. Actually, I'm ticking and itching because I'm thinking about Blu-rays and I want to go buy some right now. But no, I went to Family Video again, and they had a couple movies that I had. Well, one movie that I had to pick up, and that is Reign of Superman on Blu-ray with the slipcover. This movie recently came out, and I only paid $4.99 with it. And it also came with the digital code, too. I don't know if anyone's of interest, if that has anybody's interest at all. But if you are, drop a comment down below. And if you're interested, just let me know. And heck, maybe I'll just ship it to you for free. Just make sure you give me hit that notification and that sub for it. That's right. I'm holding the digicode hostage unless I get a sub. Reign of Superman I actually haven't seen. I think it's a really gorgeous slipcover. And with picking up, I'm looking for it right now. The Death of Superman, which was a re-release basically of Doomsday from the DC animated studios. The sequel is Reign of Superman, which I had no idea it was a sequel until I started reading the back of it. And now that I have both, I feel like one day I can just marathon Reign of Superman with obviously the Death of Superman. So pretty excited about that. Really interested in getting more into the DC animated films. So this was an easy pickup. So thank you, Family Video, again. To continue with my journey of that same day when I drove to Colombia, Daniel and I went straight to St. Louis, and we hit some pawn shops up. We hit a half-price Books in a very nice neighborhood, which got my hands really sweaty, my heart pumping, and honestly, I was just salivating foaming at the mouth just because I was just so anxious. I think I pushed Daniel down, scabbed his knee just to get to the door first. Created a fake email account so I could get 20% off my purchase. Desperate times call for desperate measures, I think is the term. Either way, we went to Half Price Books, and there was some great stuff. But one thing about Half Price Books, I've also been there before in Kansas City. However, what I learned from there before was the same when I went to this one. It's Half Price Books, but also called Overpriced Blu-rays. I think I stole that joke from FlickPick, but he's almost irrelevant now, so I don't feel bad stealing that joke. Sorry, flick pick. But Half Price Books has some really cool stuff, and Daniel and I went straight to business looking for what we could find. And of course, I found some good stuff. One of those things being Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods on Blu-ray with the slipcover. If you have not seen this movie, it's a really good movie that kind of launched the Dragon Ball Super series. But it's also a standalone movie that introduces some new graphics in the Dragon Ball Z anime, and it kind of set the tone for Super, which I really like Super Saiyan God. And this movie isn't too bad. I remember when it first came out and I saw it and I actually really liked it. Then I started to think about it more. I was like, maybe it wasn't that good. So with the rewatch, I was getting in an anime phase. Thought I'd pop this bad boy back in, and you know what? It's okay, especially with Broly coming out earlier this year. This movie does not hold up nearly as well. I would say this is better than Resurrection F, which I actually do own as well, but it's still not as good as Broly. So what I'm saying is watch Broly as soon as you can if you haven't seen it already. Dragon Ball Z, I mean, it was $10, the cheapest I've ever seen it. So of course I had to pick that up. The next movie after Dragon Ball Z is Scream Factory's issuing of The Howling from Joe Dante. I actually haven't seen this movie. Daniel has. He really likes it. He likes werewolves. So he recommended it. And I love Joe Dante for his movie Gremlins, Small Soldiers. I forgot for a second who Joe Dante was. No, I never forget. I actually haven't seen The Howling, though. So I'm really interested in checking this movie out. I think I have it in my curated movies to watch before the end of this year. Maybe I'll hold off till Halloween. I don't know. But I only picked this up for... I think it's $14 at Half Price Books. So I guess it wasn't incredibly expensive. But I also had that coupon, so maybe it was worth it. So let me know. The Howling, was it worth the pickup? But after that, Daniel and I went to a few different places, and it was hit or miss. There was a few good stuff, but we went to this one pawn shop that was really sweet. I picked up Scream Factory 4, not Scream Factory, I picked up Scream 4 on Blu-ray there so I could have the complete collection. Big thing there was a pawn shop that I found. It was like buy two for whatever the deal was. Either way, I bought two movies that were way cheaper than they probably should have been. And one of them wasn't The Matador, because I was so tempted to pick up The Matador 3 different times at St. Louis, but I had to hold myself, and Daniel was really anxious to pick up The Matador as well. Besides that, I did pick up these two movies, both with slipcovers. I picked up Mission Impossible Fallout. This was like $2 or $3, I think, with the deal. And the second one was a still sealed Beverly Hills Cop, which I have never seen. So yeah, I know this is a movie that a lot of people really like, so I'm really interested to check it out. But the big thing was picking up Mission Impossible Fallout, which I know the government's still looking for me because I didn't see this movie in theaters when it came out. I still haven't seen it yet because I've been trying to go through the whole Mission Impossible franchise, and I kind of stopped after 2. I need that motivation to get in more into the franchise, but I just really need to see this movie because I have a huge crush on Henry Cavill. So, one of these days I'll check it out. That was my St. Louis trip. It's pretty cool, but when I went back, of course, I hit up Family Video again. I'm basically taking all their stock as soon as I get there every time. I picked up for $6.99 Suspiria 2018. Now, Suspiria 2018, I didn't really get blown away by. I think it was incredibly stylish, and I really applaud, what's his name? He directed Call Me By Your Name, Guadagnino. I still need to check out Call Me By Your Name, but I saw Suspiria and I really applauded it and how it was completely original, and it only took a small portion of the original Suspiria from Dario Argento. And the lead man of Radiohead, Tom York, also created the soundtrack for this movie too. So I was already really excited to see it. I was a little underwhelmed, mostly because it was probably like 10 p.m. when I went to see it with Nathan and Dan and Seth. I'm really anxious to give this another rewatch. I feel like I didn't appreciate it enough, especially as a horror fan. So for $6.99, definitely will be rewatching it. The next movies I'm showing are pickups from one pawn shop on my way to Columbia that I always hit up, and they usually give me good deals. So I went there and I picked up a new addition to the Disney collection, and that is The Chronicles of Narnia on Blu-ray. The Chronicles of Narnia for me was, as a kid, was like Lord of the Rings light. So like if I didn't want to watch Lord of the Rings, you know, and I wanted something similar, I would have just popped in the Chronicles of Narnia. You know, James McAvoy's in this as Mr. Tubness. I haven't seen this movie for a while now, but I still remember really loving Liam Neeson as Aslan, and I think it's a really good movie as a kid. Now, as an adult, I don't know, so I bought it for like $3, so I'm definitely taking that risk to see if it still holds up, and it has Tilda Swinton, speaking of Suspiria, so I'll definitely check this out, probably around Christmas time, because the movie always translated well with me around the Christmas time, so we'll see. The next couple movies I picked up were from some pawn shops here in town. I basically just drove around, see what I could find, and I had some luck actually. So one of the first movies I picked up was the Purge 4 movie collection for $5. I found this at like the last pawn shop I hit, and the guy was really cool. And I asked him, I was like, dude, what do you want for this? I had no idea what to price it at. And he was like, $5 for it. And I said, heck yeah, because I think this thing's like $20. Check your pawn shops. Her Task Reviews always tells you, check those pawn shops. You got to find those deals. Make those connections with the pawners. Pawn Stars? Pawnee? Yeah, pawner. I don't know what you call a pawn shop owner, except maybe shopkeep, maybe. Either way, talk to your pawn shop guys and gals. See if you can strike a deal like I did. You might get lucky. But the Purge 4 film collection, I'm really excited to watch in the Halloween time. I don't have really an interest right now. I actually haven't seen any of the Purge movies. I've seen them through trailers and thought those were cool on concept. I don't know if these movies are actually that good though. But I do know the first one has Ethan Hawke. So that'll be worth it, at least for the first movie for me. And then from there, we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, for $5, I could not pass this up. I basically want this right next to my Saw 8 film collection because like I don't really know much about the Saw movies that much, but the price I paid for the whole collection was worth it, and one of these days I'll just binge them. And then I'll probably come out a worse human being. So really excited for that. A pawn shop before that was really good for me. I found some really sweet stuff, and they were only $3 Blu-rays there. So my hands were feeling really frisky, and I was grabbing a lot of stuff, and then I had to decide for a half hour at a pawn shop what was I going to buy or what was I not going to buy. Because that's what I always do. I always pick up a bunch of stuff, and then I ponder what I'm going to buy for the rest of the time I'm there. It's just part of the tradition, and I'm not going to change that. $3 Blu-rays I picked up from there. The first one was the 3-pack of Halloween H2O, which is water, and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, and Halloween Resurrection. Brand new. Now it says it. Somebody paid $7.99 for it. I paid only $3 for it. So that's $1 a movie. I unfortunately don't have the Halloween collection set like most people probably bought. I had to buy every single one individually because I want them on Scream Factory. So I have to buy every single one individually. And now the only ones I need are Part 4 and Part 5. So I haven't even seen these. So I can't really talk much about them, but I love the first 3 Halloween, and I definitely love... No, I don't love, but I really like the Rob Zombie movies too. Just finishing up the collection with these, and then I'll get 4 and 5. So for $3, really happy to have that. And then the big steal was for $3. I missed out on it on Facebook Marketplace, but I picked up Peter Pan this time around for $3 in really great condition. Now it doesn't have the slipcover, so it's basically useless. Just kidding. $3 for Peter Pan, especially because it just recently came out on Blu-ray again, was a huge deal for me. I mean, I felt like I was stealing almost because it was so dirt cheap, but the guy didn't bat an eye at all. He's like, $3. I was like, here you go. And so now, I mean, this Disney shelf is about at max capacity. I just need to add Mary Poppins Returns really on there. So, but it's a bit, with Peter Pan, it's almost at max capacity. So check your pawn shops. I keep telling everybody that. But for those of you who don't have maybe pawn shops nearby and you have a place called Disc Replay, definitely check that place out. Now, Disc Replay is a place back home. I had to travel all the way up to Northern Illinois with Seth and Nick, who's a friend of ours. We were going to Chicago for ASIN's anime convention, so we had to stop at home for Disc Replay because it was technically on the way, and we needed some Blu-rays. So I was really tempted by the Blu-ray gods to buy a bunch of stuff, but luckily I remained calm. We were there for 45 minutes more than we needed to, just waiting on me because I had a basket full of Blu-rays. I ended up leaving with a few good stuff. The first one I picked up was the X-Men Days of Future Past Steelbook for $3.99, so $4. Days of Future Past, really great movie in the X-Men franchise. Now I only need Apocalypse and First Class. For $3.99 for the Steelbook, in really great condition, was easily worth it. I'm not huge on Steelbooks, but man, this is a very gorgeous release for this movie. Next thing I picked up while I was there was for $3.99 again, Inglourious Basterds by Quentin Tarantino. Oh, that's a bingo, as Christoph Waltz would say after paying that price for it. Mostly because I'm trying to grab all the Tarantino movies individually because I didn't want to pay for that collection set that came out a couple years ago. But Inglourious Basterds is definitely one of my favorite ones from Tarantino. It's just really funny and witty, and I really just love Christoph Waltz's performance in that. Also, he's probably really disgraced in my impression of him in that movie. The last thing I picked up there was definitely Mary and the Witch's Flower for $7.99. I have not seen this movie, but I was definitely recommended by Seth and Nick to pick this movie up. So I've been watching a few Ghibli films lately, so this one's definitely going to be added to the queue. Q is spelled Q-U-E. However it's spelled, basically spells the letter Q too. So fun fact of the day. But the next movie I picked up was at my local Entertainment Mart. I picked it up for $14.99. That is Dennis Quaid, not his crazy brother Randy Quaid that you can find in Branson 45 minutes out. But Dennis Quaid, and that is the movie Dreamscape on Scream Factory with the slipcover. Have not seen this movie, but I remember Daniel telling me this movie's freaking awesome. So I'm going to take his advice, and if it's not freaking awesome, Daniel, I'm coming to Columbia, and I'm grabbing a Blu-ray of my choice. So just let that be your verbal warning right now. So I need to check this movie out. I'm going to be watching it, and after this movie's podcast or channel, they're doing a thing in June called Junesploitation, and I've been participating in it, and I've added this to one of the days of my showing, so I'll be watching that this month. So maybe I'll do a review on it, and then at the end I'll probably decide if I'm taking something from Daniel. Junesploitation and different movies. I found this website called Amoeba. Either way, it's a Blu-ray shop based off LA, and they do free shipping on Blu-rays, regardless of the price. So I've picked up some stuff there. One of them being a Tommy Lee Jones Kino Lorber film I haven't seen, called The Park Is Mine. And what it sounds like is basically Tommy Lee Jones dials in a Rambo impression. He takes over Central Park in New York. He's a vet, and he's basically not leaving. And the police have to try and get him out. This is also going to be in my Junesploitation as well, which I'll probably be talking about later on at the end of this video. But yeah, this was only $9 for a Kino, and I was like, no, $7 or not? No, $7. It was $7 used, and it's still sealed, which is awesome. And the next movie I picked up from that same website was Spike Lee joint film Red Hook Summer for $4. I've been wanting to see this movie for a while. It sounds like it's a return to form from Do the Right Thing for Spike Lee. I've been on a Spike Lee trip for a while. I've been wanting to watch a lot more of his filmography because I think he's a very interesting filmmaker and someone I think I could relate to in some ways. So I'm really interested to watch this movie and write a review on it. So Red Hook Summer. The next movies I picked up on at Facebook Marketplace, which on this channel I always say check those Facebook Marketplace listings. You're gonna find some good stuff. Maybe not as good as this, just because of base where I'm from. But you can find some really great stuff. Facebook Marketplace. Make sure you bring a friend though. Don't be like me that goes by myself. I don't value my life very well. But you might. So check those listings and bring a friend because it could be dangerous out there. Two movies I picked up which were $5 each. That's right, $5 each. I kind of questioned the guy initially, but then when he had them, I just said, here's your $10, and I left. But those two movies are Ash vs. Evil Dead, the completed collection, brand new, for $5. And he was selling it because he had an Xbox 360 and he thought the Blu-ray would play in it. Well, his loss is my gain. I hate to think that way, but for this bad boy, definitely worth it. The second thing I picked up was the Evil Dead 2 4K, along with the Blu-ray. Whoops, so yeah. Oh, there it goes again. So Evil Dead 2, yeah. So, like I said, I haven't seen the show Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I know Nathan on Nathan Jones' channel, he's seen this and likes it a lot. I know Seth has been wanting to see it, and now that I own it as well, I'm very anxious to give this a go. And then with Evil Dead 2, I already own this movie on Blu-ray, but to have it on 4K as well, it was an easy buy. I'm really anxious to see it on 4K. I'm not crazy about the cover on it though, but I can look past that. So for $5 a piece, I picked both those up near the end of the month of May. And moving on, there was a few things I picked up when I went to Chicago the last week of May on the weekend. I went to go to see my aunt's wedding. So she lives in Chicago. So I went there, but I had to drive to St. Louis first. It was a very long weekend, but I'm very happy to see my aunt get married. It was an amazing wedding. Of course, I had to go through Lebanon to get to St. Louis first, because that's like my pit stop to see my other aunt. And in Lebanon, there's that pawn shop that I usually go to pick up some deals. So I went there and I traded in 3 Blu-rays, and I paid only $9 for this that was there. That is the Death Note Complete Series. It was only I paid like $8 or $9 for this after trading 2 Blu-rays. Definitely worth it. The Blu-rays were good, but I'd rather have this instead. My girlfriend and I've already seen most of it. I really need to finish it, but my girlfriend wanted to start an anime with me, so this is the one that's really hooked her. And Death Note. I really want to own like my favorite animes on disc. I know, like, I use Crunchyroll as well to watch like the newer episodes of movies, especially like Attack on Titan, which is like my favorite anime now. Well, I mean, it was like my favorite, one of my favorites, but now I think it's a contender of one of my all-time favorites. Death Note, really great, and at an amazing price for $9 at that pawn shop I always go to. They never disappoint, so I was glad to pick something up there. But moving on from there, when I got to Chicago, I had a morning where I was free to do whatever I want for a few hours. And growing up near Chicago, I kind of know how to like navigate through there. So I used the L train and stopped on Belmont. And there was 2 they're not pawn shops. They were like kind of like entertainment vintage stock types, but they're mostly record stores. But they had really amazing Blu-rays. Like they had so many like different obscure Criterion films on Blu-ray and DVD. They had standard Blu-rays, they had anime sections, they had horror sections, they had a whole section dedicated to Twilight Time Blu-rays. I was just so blown away, and they were like on glass cases, so I looked like a kid in a candy store asking everyone to like open these up so I can look at them, just touch them and say that I did. I did end up picking some stuff up. I didn't spend a crazy amount of money, but I did get some really good deals. The first place, which was called The Exchange, I ended up picking up the Spike Lee joint film Miracle at St. Anna. I haven't seen this movie yet. I know it's one of Spike Lee's films, and I didn't know if this was like a harder movie to get or not, so I definitely just picked it up. This was only $3 in a really amazing condition. Like I said before, I think in my other video, or earlier in this video, I really want to get into more of Spike Lee's films. He's just a director I'm very fascinated with. So I have that. That same place I picked up a Disney film, of course, secondhand bought, just like every single other one in the collection. But that is for was it $16? Sleeping Beauty on Blu-ray. This was one I wanted for a while, but I knew it was super expensive. If you don't believe me, check the Amazon price on it. It is insane. It's one of the reasons I just have this I talk down on Disney because of the price of this right now on Amazon. But that's Amazon's price, of course. So I don't know if this was a super great deal, but I was willing to pay it right then and there to have it. And it was an amazing condition. So Sleeping Beauty, actually I haven't seen it either. Whoops. I think this is one I'm definitely going to be popping in real quick. So there was the store that was next to the Exchange was the other one I wanted to hit on Belmont called Reckless Records. So if you're in Chicago, hit up the Exchange and Reckless Records. You'll find some deals. Some of the stuff isn't like super great deal price. Can't talk. I'm so nervous. But if you go to Chicago, like don't go to just Millennium Park and stuff like that. I would recommend Lori's House of Sound. I think this one's got Lori's House of Sound, The Exchange, any of the locations, and then Reckless Records, any of the locations as well. But I do recommend the Belmont one first because they're right next to each other, which is really cool for me. So I didn't have to like take the bus. I could just take the L and then walk. The only thing I bought at the Exchange, the Reckless Records, it was just Corpse Bride. Corpse Bride, I really love this Tim Burton movie. I just really enjoyed it a lot as a kid, and as an adult, I really do too. I bought it new, but it was only $3. I didn't ask any questions. I just gave the man the money and left. So really happy to own this movie. Been wanting it for a while, so I think I've been teasing it whenever I go to Vintage Stock. So now that I own that, it's gonna be a really nice to set it right next to Coraline because they're kind of similar in their style. So, but that was all I picked up in Chicago in terms of Blu-rays. But on the way back, I didn't pick up any more Blu-rays. No, wait, I did. I went to Dollar General. And anybody who knows me knows that a Dollar General is around me. I always have to find a way to make an exit or turn around and go to that Dollar General. Dollar General is... It's like my dealer in terms of like, you know, getting the good stuff that I need, which are Blu-rays. They have it cheap and it's reliable and it's totally safe and secure. Dollar General, when I get a chance to go there, I always go straight to I get a Red Bull and I always look into the Red Bull, the Blu-rays. So make one stop and make 2 pickups there. Talking to Seth the whole time, so of course he's whispering in my ear to take them. But the 2 Blu-rays I picked up, the first one being 500 Days of Summer for $2.95. You know, Zooey Deschanel, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Really great movie. I've only seen this movie once. I kind of been wanting to watch something of this sort again. So now that I picked this up, I'll definitely be popping it up soon. So happy to pick that one up. The next one I picked up is a Darren Aronofsky film. It's one of probably my favorites from him. That is Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. The Wrestler is a really great movie about a man who's trying to recapture his glory days. And he's just kind of having to deal with the sad realities of life as well. Marissa Tomei is amazing in this movie as well. I definitely recommend checking out The Wrestler if you haven't seen it already. Be careful; it kind of hits you like a truck at some points, but it's definitely worth your watch. But yeah, this is one of Darren Aronofsky's best, I think. And Marissa Tomei and Mickey Rourke, they're really great chemistry. And if you want to see more of them, I definitely recommend the MCU. Because they're both in it as well. After the Dollar General, I didn't make any more Blu-ray pickups on physical, like in any physical stores, but I did make an eBay purchase. That came in right after ASIN, so in the middle of May. ASIN, like I said, was an anime convention in Chicago, technically Rosemount, but that Seth and Nick and I went to, and it was such an amazing time. It was just great to just be with my friends and enjoy something we all love, which is anime. It was seeing people cosplay as like your favorite anime show character or like movie was awesome, and seeing the merch was very tempting, especially with a credit card. But I held myself accountable to not spend a lot. But when I went on my eBay app, I did find a few anime seasons that I really wanted to check out. So I basically was messaging this guy, and I think he sold it to me for $30 or $35, which was egregiously cheap for what they're worth right now. I made the step forward in picking up one of my favorite animes, and that is Attack on Titan Seasons 1, which I have here is part 1 and part 2. It's not it is a complete first season, but it's in 2 different sets. It's not like the full one. In one case, which is fine because I love the alternate cover work for both parts. So it's Attack on Titan Season 1 and then Attack on Titan Season 2 complete as well. It looks a little disorganized at first when you put them like there because there's no slip on that part 1, but that's fine. A small price to pay for salvation in terms of my anime collection. So I definitely have no complaints with that. Especially when you see the price of each individually on Amazon. I very much champion this way of buying them. So check your eBays. You know I heard tastic reviews here. I always tell you, check your eBays. Talk to those people. Be nice. Don't be creepy. Check your Facebook Marketplace. You might find some amazing deals. And then always check your pawn shops. I say that all the time here because it works, guys. Please, I can't recommend it enough. But that is it for me. I made way too many purchases, but I got them all at really great deals, so I like to tell myself that that was okay, and I paid in tip money. Don't forget to tip your baristas. I tell myself I technically didn't spend any money. That's it for May. Thank you all for sticking by, for stopping by and watching this long video, I'm sure. But I already made some really sweet pickups for June. I really want to show them all right now. It's very tempting because we are in the month of June, but they're very horrific is all I'm going to say. But speaking of horror, if you really love horror and you want to check out these pickups, I would definitely hit that notification bell down below so that you can see when that video gets popped up. Also, I would recommend subbing to the channel or give it a like or comment down below if you like horror. There's also a horror double drive-through I did a couple weeks ago. I'll put that in a link down below. Other than that, I really want to thank you all the subscribers for supporting the channel, myself, and this crazy addiction I have with movies. You are all wonderful. I want to thank Daniel and Seth and Nick and Nathan for just supporting the habit I have here, and Annie for keeping my sanity when I'm looking at a bunch of Blu-rays. But other than that, my name's Chris here again with Frutastic Reviews. You know how it is. I'll see you next time. Actually, that was really generic and I sounded like FlickPick, my last stab at FlickPick. All I'm going to say is I'm Chris and this is Jonesy here at Frutastic Reviews, and we just want to say we'll see you next time.